So we called it the innovation corner, the innovation session. It's transferred also its name a little bit over the time that we were inventing it. So the whole idea of this session that I tried to communicate to everyone over the email, but I seem to have not gotten my message across completely, to some of you at least, is that we first set the scene by everyone. So everybody pitches their idea, their product, or software, or whatever you want to show to the rest of the people. In 3 to 5 minutes, you talk, you use either your poster to help you, or a few slides, or maybe you have your product with you, or maybe you just want to speak to the group. All is fine. And then after that, everybody will find their place. The original idea was that you would bring a poster or your product or whatever, so that you could actually have something to discuss. But now many people did not do that, but that's fine. We can just go to a corner next to one of the poster boards so that we are separate a little bit. And then everybody can just spread around and talk to the person that their pitch actually provoked your interest, and you would like to talk with this person a little bit more. So that is the idea of the innovation session. So for now, we have, I think, 12 pitches that we are going to listen to first, and then the remainder of the time that we have in the session we will use to discuss with each other as if it is like a poster discussion session. So I would like to invite first Regrow Ag with establishing credible claims, defining ownership and transparency in agricultural carbon removals.
Thank you. Hello everyone. So we are going to talk about carbon removals. I think we all acknowledge in those 2-3 days that reporting removals is key, is in one of the major levers to decarbonize supply chains, agricultural supply chains. But with great potential comes great responsibilities, and reporting removals means collecting direct farmer data, so field level, using correct quantification approaches, tier 3 modeling, accounting for the uncertainty, accounting for the potential reversals of those practices over time, accounting for the removals, the reversals, and so it is complex. And so how do we make sure that this complexity doesn't come at a higher cost than the removal itself? And so at Regrow, we believe that we want to bring to the community, into the farming community, the best available science and the best available technology to streamline this process, to make it simple, to make it simpler, scalable. And so that starts with, like, when farmers are enrolling in the platform, with remote sensing, you can already source 5 years of historical data of the rotation, the seeding date, the harvest date, the cover crop. They don't have to type this down by themselves. So that's the first stage, is getting the data, but then also be able to track without having to ask the farmer for the 10 next years what they've done on their fields. Have those practices been kept implemented over time? And so again, satellite can help here. But what is even more important is to be able to quantify the yearly natural fluctuations of ag practices. Like, they're not going to do no-till for 10 years. That's not realistic. They're going to go back to reduced tillage, or they're going to have to drop cover crop because it's a drought year, to quantify if this is actually a full reversal. Maybe not. Maybe it's actually a very small portion of what they initially had sequestered that has been released a little bit. And so bringing the best of science and technology together is being able to make that realistic to what the farming reality is and the farming growing cycle is. So that's really the first part. And then those removals needs to be accounted in corporate inventories, and we see very often, and most of the time, corporates are reporting the MRV on the ground region ag programs separately from their corporate inventories. Those are two separate things. They don't talk the same language. They're not comparable. It's not an apple-to-apple comparison. And so the technology here is really bringing this together. So the ability for a corporate to be able to draw where exactly they're sourcing from the region ag fields that they are investing in. They're paying the farmers to change, and they're monitoring those removals that come with region ag practices. and then use the exact same quantification approaches and field level data for the rest of their supply sheds. So all the fields that are not in the Regen Ag program, that might be doing Regen Ag already, because if you consider France, a lot of farmers are doing cover cropping, so they are having already removals happening. It is not accounted in corporate inventories, and the conventional farmers as well. And so what the map is here showing is bringing satellite imagery for all the existing fields in France, for example, in this example, analyzing for the past 7 years what are the management practices on each of those single fields, and quantifying with modeling what are the emissions and the removals occurring on all of those fields. And so to having my MRV program on the ground Regen Ag, we had likely high removal reporting, and normal fields in the rest of the region that is not based on the static emission factor, that is not representing the reality of the farming. And so really this one-on-one apple-to-apple comparison is what we believe on, and to streamline the removal process, like make it simple, data accessible, without having to knock at the farmer's door every 2 seconds and asking for data. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. You can, all of you can end your talk with, if you want to know more, come to talk to me. Okay, so our next speaker is from Agvisor, a reliable carbon credit market with Soil Carbon Scientific Center.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here. My name is Hristo Nikolov, and I'm from Bulgaria. In our organization, Agvisor, we create Soil Carbon Scientific Center, where we develop our own methodology and invest in accredited laboratory complex for soils, which ensures soil sampling and soil analysis for the farmers. Our main goal is to make connection between farmers and carbon credit buyers all around Europe, and we develop pilot projects in Eastern Europe, in Regions of Bulgaria. There we have partners who are project developers and make connection between farmers to help them to adopt regenerative practices and to make a transition from conventional agriculture to the regenerative agriculture. Our main goal is to ensure the secure data about the soil condition and about the removals. So we believe that the only way to ensure that there are removers and there is carbon capture is by direct soil samplings. And our methodology and our soil sampling models are based on that to cover 100% of plots of each farm to ensure the sequestration. What we are looking for is to connect partners all around Europe to scale our projects to implement our model in more farms and to make connection between farmers and markets. So how we do? We take soil samples every single year for every plot of the farms that participate in our programs. We analyze the soils in our on-site laboratory and give advices for farmers how to make their crop management, how to feed their crops, and just how to make a transition from conventional to regenerative agriculture, how I say it. We have a full value chain ownership. We have in-house certified soil testing laboratory. We have our patented method for carbon sequestration. We are on the road to ensure all the regulators will ask for us regarding to CRCF in European Union for now. And we develop our own digital platform to scale agronomic expertise and to help farmers. We think we are developing a scalable platform that has a huge potential all around Europe and not only, but we are focused in Europe at the moment. There are a lot of farmlands in Europe who can make this transition, and with good connections and good joint developments, we believe we can scale our idea and our project all around Europe. Oops. What we have at the moment, we have a big team with agronomists, scientists, chemistry specialists based in Bulgaria. We have, I said, in-house laboratory, and we will be happy to connect organizations, companies, and farmers who are interested to develop projects like ours all around Europe and to participate in our program. Thank you very much. If you have any questions,
Thank you so much. So our next speaker is from Airbus Space Digital, estimation of carbon and nitrogen restitutions from cover crops using satellite images.
Good morning. So are you ready to discover how cover crops become the superheroes of our fields? Yeah? Yes. So our amazing colleague, agronomist and remote sensing expert, will reveal all the secrets of these magical plants, the cover crops. They are good to protect our soils, our waters, from Phacelia to radish, including fava beans and oats. These cover crops are under high surveillance by satellite. Our poster is here.
So traditional methods for measuring cover crop biomass are vital for quantifying soil carbon content, and you know that. But they are slow, expensive, and not scalable at all. So at Airbus, we are not only selling commercial aircraft, but we are developing a geospatial solution, and this poster presents our operational methodologies that leverage a virtual constellation of high-resolution satellites. So we go beyond simple vegetation indices like NDVI. We use our advanced model inversion to derive key biophysical parameters, the map in the center, and with a special focus with the green leaf area index. So our model is built on an extensive ground truth campaign across France, so covering a wide diversity of cover crops, or climates and farming practices. And the results are here. We achieve a strong correlation with an R-square of 0.7, confirming our ability to provide reliable biomass estimation at scale. And we take it one step further because we integrate this estimation into an operational decision support tool. So it's already commercialized in France, and you can show a deliverable here. And this allows us to deliver concrete field-level insight to the farmer, so from total biomass and nitrogen content to the potential for soil sequestration and nutrient restitution for the next cover crop.
So come and see how we turn satellite data into biomass estimates, carbon to the soil and nitrogen to the soil. So less fertilizer, more carbon stored, and greener fields than ever. Let's see at the poster.
Excellent, thank you so much. Then the next on is from Bomita, Mitra. This person is not here, so then we go to the next one. From Agreement, soil fertility improvement and effects of regenerative practices on organic carbon sequestration and related ecosystem services. Please.
Good morning, everyone. I am Cipriano Iudice from Agreement, an eco-strategic consultant company from Basilicata, southern of Italy. And I have a question for you. If I say agricultural system, what do you think about? an agricultural system is not only a provider of food and fiber, but is also provider environmental benefits from, for collectivity. An example of this is our kiwi orchard experimental field that we manage in southern of Italy, with adding the organic matter with the compost and biodigestate, and we calculate the environmental benefits and ecosystem services. But how we can calculate and quantify the environmental benefits and relate ecosystem services? How can we promote the agricultural product that implement regenerative practices, and how regenerative practices improve soil health? This is the question. The answer to this question is Carbon Platform, which is a Apex model-based platform where we input the territorial parameters and meteoclimatic parameters, and using the model calculation as, for example, Century, Rusle equation, the platform model and quantify the ecosystem services. The carbon platform is already ready to go for scalable and adaptable to territory, other territory, and is ready to go for integration with blockchain and gathering management information from farmer. Is a support, could be a support for enhancing of resilience or productivity, and could be a support for third-party certification eco-scheme. Thank you for your attention, and turn sustainability into opportunity.
Thank you so much. Then the next one on my list is from Impact. It's not here, so that's what I was expecting. Then the next one up is from Biospheres, the place of carbon in regenerative agriculture, aligning carbon farming with ecosystem regeneration.
Yeah, thank you. So, hello everyone, I'm Elsa Labat from Biosphere team. Today we wanted to talk about the place of carbon in regenerative agriculture. Carbon is often presented as the main objective of regenerative agriculture. At Biosphere we think it differently. Carbon is not the main goal, but it is a consequence. Regenerative agriculture is first and foremost about restoring ecosystems, living soils, resilient crops, healthy grassland, and productive farms. When soils are biologically active, really well structured and covered, they will naturally store more carbon. In other words, carbon sequestration is possible when regeneration works, and not the other way around. The risk today could be to reduce regenerative agriculture to carbon farming, to carbon accounting only. If we focus about carbon without considering also soil biology, biodiversity, water cycles, and farmers' realities, we might generate some metrics, but we are not considering real resilience on the ground. So at Biosphere, what we do basically is that we align carbon farming with regenerative agriculture by working at farm level. We start with agronomic diagnosis, field visits, soil analysis, and then we co-design together with the farmers a concrete action plan that take into account crop rotation, integration of cover crops, optimized inputs, reducing soil disturbance, and also the economic part of the farm. So that's basically what we do. Therefore, these carbon indicators are part of a broader framework that takes into account this biodiversity aspects, soil health, water management, and economic aspects, social ones also. So yeah, this complete approach helps ensure that carbon is not only measurable, but also credible, durable, and compatible with productive farming systems. So yeah, in short, carbon matters, but only when it comes with real on-the-ground regeneration. We can talk about it later. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Then the next one up is Tethys Institute with a presentation on carbon farming in Mediterranean olive groves.
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. I'm Flavia Francese, and I'm a sustainability analyst at Tethys Institute. We are a consultancy company mainly specialized in life cycle assessment and carbon management. And we are partners in the Life Oliver project, which is a project trying to make possible and more easy the access for farmers to the voluntary carbon credit markets. We started from the untapped potential of olive groves all across the European Union. Basically, almost 40% of total tree crop area across the European Union is constituted by olive groves, and mostly on carbon-depleted areas, and therefore areas with an high potential for surrogate carbon storage. However, in 2023, when we started with our project, there was still a significant gap for farmers to be able to access the voluntary carbon credit markets, both in terms of technical and bureaucratic hurdles. And also there was a lack of a scheme dedicated to perennial crops. So here comes the Life Oliver project, trying to generate a framework for certification of this kind of project and allow the farmers to access the voluntary carbon credit market. We started by developing a protocol taken from ICRA requirements and the most relevant sectoral ISO standards. It is a standalone protocol, which, however, has an adaptive structure, an adaptive framework, and could be, later on, we hopefully could be integrated in the EU CRCF. However, since it is a standalone protocol, we have our own associated public registry, which is Eco2Care, which is an Italian registry also managed by Tethys. And we could directly generate and issue the credits on this registry. However, we have our own certification scheme. Therefore, we established a program operator within the partners of the Life Oliver project. We have all the governance procedure for validation, verification, and also all the documents, methodologies for project implementation from both a quantification point of view and also from a bureaucratic point of view, helping the farmers with all the needed document and bureaucratic procedures. And later on, as I was saying before, we are ready with the Eco2Care registry for the public listing of the verified projects once they will be implemented on the field, and the issuance of the credits directly on the registry. Where we are right now, so therefore we have our protocol ready. We have established the certification scheme, and we have also our public registry associated to the project. Therefore, now we are ready to start the implementation phase. We have a network of the first pilot farmers, the first pilot project. They are starting to implement the protocol and apply the protocol on the field. But we are open for new developers. Therefore, we are open to accept new farmers that would like to adhere to the scheme and start adopting our protocol. And hopefully, we would be interested also to propose our scheme to be considered in April 2026 for the CRCF opening for the call for schemes. So we're very welcome to discuss about this possibility later with all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next one up is Maria Giulia Pelosi, and she will say something about a live climate positive advancing carbon farming in forestry across Italy.
Thanks very much. Good morning, everyone. As Saskia introduced me, I'm Maria Giulia Pelosi, and I work as Forest and Climate Advocacy Manager at ETI4. Today, I will bring you the perspective from the forestry sector, presenting the Live Climate Positive project as a tool to advance carbon farming in forestry across Italy. So we all know that forests play a crucial role in climate change mitigation, in biodiversity conservation, and in the provision of ecosystem services. However, the lack of active management is undermining these benefits. This problem is particularly relevant in Italy, where almost 36% of the national surface is covered by forests, but 84% of them do not have a management plan in place. Related to that, we can then identify three main challenges of the Italian forestry sectors, which are strictly interconnected. First one, the high level of land abandonment and fragmentation with unclear pathways for collaboration among landowners. Second, a higher vulnerability of unmanaged silvopastoral system to the climate crisis, which lead from one side to a higher exposure to extreme events, such as wildfire and floods, and from the other side to a reduced carbon sequestration potential. And last but not least, there is a general lack of economic sustainability of forestry operation, especially in non-productive and fragmented areas, which is often associated to a lack of ability to market ecosystem services. Given this context, the objective of the project, therefore, is to promote smart forest associations to increase sustainably managed forest areas according to multifunctionality principles, reduce forest vulnerability to climate change, and at the same time increase the economic valorization of ecosystem services, with a specific focus on carbon and biodiversity. So how to achieve these objectives? We are supporting the creation of new forest associations and the strengthening of the existing ones through several tools, such as a toolkit for smart associations, the launch of a national call for proposal for supporting associations, the realization of a regional help desk, and the implementation of several local engagement events for disseminating the topic. We are then also designing innovative business model to help small forest owners access funding for the remuneration of certified ecosystem services, since it is essential to make sustainable forestry economically viable. We are also testing real-world solutions through pilot forest intervention to test effective climate mitigation strategies. And finally, we are developing decision support tools to monitor and estimate carbon removal so that we can support informed forest management decisions and facilitate access to climate finance. The main output in this sense is the realization of a protocol for monitoring carbon and ecosystem services and the realization of a carbon tool which allows for the estimation of the carbon credits potentially generated by different forest management scenarios. Additionally, within the project, we are also supporting in the development of the national Italian certification schemes for the generation of carbon credits, of course, in line with the requirement of the European CRCF. So if you like to learn more, I will be presenting the project, of course, today and also at the live stand, which is in the corridor at the beginning, together with some colleagues, and especially we will present two main outputs of the project, which I mentioned before, which are the toolkit for smart associations and the carbon tool. So it will be this afternoon from 2:45 to 4. So I really hope to see you there, and I thank you very much for the attention.
Okay, thank you. The next one up is Julia. Oh no, there was a different. This is not Julia, but I don't remember your name. Anyway, he's going to talk about wood for life, locking carbon from forests to buildings.
Thanks. Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. I'm Nicola Andrighetto. I work for Atifor as Maria Giulia. I'm here to present this Wood Life project. What are our problems in Italy and also in other countries in the Mediterranean region? We know in forests, the effects of climate change are increasing. What are the main reason of this increase of climate effect? We have a lack of forest management. We know that there is a low economic convenience to manage this kind of forest. We know that there are problems of physical constraints, of course. There are problems of high fragmentation, forest ownership, but also there is a weak connection between the forest sector and the rest of the wood value chain. Only to have an idea, in Italy, we are a very important furniture producers, but our forest is increasing, but we import 80% of our raw material. So there is a not connection between forest sector and the rest of the value chain. This is a weak connection. We also see this weak connection also in terms of forest ecosystem service valorization as a carbon. In this context, CFC deal with both of this sector, both with the carbon forest removal in forest, but also the role of carbon in wood products. So what are our challenge? We want to propose an economic model to achieve a forest profitability, incorporating ecosystem service and their valorization in the in wood products. Is a real challenge, we know. But how we can do it? We will create tools and business models that are able to connect forest value chain and forest managers. And also, of course, these kind of tools will be in line with the CFC, and the real challenge in our case to ensure benefit sharing among companies and forest owners. This is the main reference of the project. The project started at the end of 2024. So last year in 2025, we'll be dedicating the preliminary activities. One of the main results that we did, we made a survey among more or less 200 wood companies in Italy and Spain. And these companies say, be careful, the consumers don't connect timber with the timber capacity to store carbon. So it's a very, I think, good starting point to understand how we can approach our challenge. The partner in Italy and Spain, and you can see we have not only forest owners, but also association of forest value companies. If you want any information, here there is our references. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I hope that you are already in touch with my colleague Daniel. Then, because he would be very interested in this topic. Our next speaker is Petris Abolins. Sorry for mispronouncing your name. He will enlighten us about carbon farming in the northern peatlands.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not our PowerPoint presentation, but we will have the poster.
Oh, you didn't have one? Or you do
We have a poster. We choose to show you the poster. Yes? It's okay?
Yes, but you
Okay.
have both.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Dear colleagues, first of all, greeting from Latvia. And I will say exactly like the newest trend in the Instagram. There is one lady who is coming on the beach and say, hello, it's me you looking for. My name is Peter. My colleague name is Aldis. And we are from a project called Live Peat Carbon. We are 12 beneficiaries from several European countries, and our main goal in our project is save mire and prove that mire can accumulate the greenhouse gas emissions. My colleague Aldis will show you the first results of our greenhouse gas emission and carbon credits. If you have questions about that, he is the right scientist in this room who will answer to all your questions.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. So I'm from Latvian State Forest Research Institute. We have around more than 10 years of experience in greenhouse gas monitoring and carbon balance studies in various ecosystems. And in this case, we have been taking part in this live peat carbon project. And what we have been doing in Latvia, we have 4 different mires, and around 30 study subplots in these mires, and we have assigned different habitats depending from vegetation. But to put it simple, we categorize them in 3 categories: near pristine, revetted, and degraded ones. And these all sites are historically been peat extraction sites, so we were interested to see how revetting seems to affect the greenhouse gas emissions. What we did, we made a methodology on mass-based carbon balance estimation. It means we measured greenhouse gas fluxes from the soil, and also we measured carbon input back to the soil by vegetation mortality. For example, if sites are with more or less tree vegetation, we measured also fuller litter fall, and ground vegetation with the annual plants and perennial plants, and also moss growth to calculate the carbon balance of the soil. And also we took, to better explain the results we are achieving, we also took soil measurements, different physical and chemical analysis, also soil water and groundwater level monitoring as well, to try to explain better what we have been observing. So on what we can see, I think we can later on come nearer here and see that very interesting that revetted sites, they were revetted in the time from 1 to 10 years ago, and then we can see that revetted sites showing quite high emissions due to methane emission elevation, because we have to understand that the revetting is actually a disturbance, because they were, when we look at the degraded sites, they are more or less stable at emissions. But when we make the revetting, there is disturbance, and the first response is increased methane emissions. When we look at the near natural sites, only in a few sites we have increased methane emissions. And why? That shows in our soil and soil water analysis less salinity, less sulfur in the content in the soil. It shows that because it promotes methane emissions. Usually where we have more sulfur in soil, it mitigates methane emissions, and so that explains these peaks here in near natural sites. That explains a little bit about methane we observed. And about carbon balance, these degraded sites are more or less were in carbon balance, but when we can look at near natural and revetted sites that show potential of carbon sequestration. I would say potential, because scientifically I cannot say carbon sequestration, because there is a high uncertainty of the measurement, because we actually cannot say very with high confidence that there is sequestration, but we see the potential is there. But the problem is these methane emissions, and when we recalculate these methane emissions in the global warming potential of 100 years, we can see that the near natural site is more or less climate neutral. Revetted site is higher global warmer as degraded site, but we don't know how long it will take if it will ever reach near natural state or not, but it gives some insight that it seems not in 10 years. If you have any questions, then
Like
welcome.
I mentioned, he's the smartest scientist in our project. Thank you for your attention. See you later.
Okay, then the next one up is Inga Kruse, and she will tell us about the Life Super EU.
Question to you. Oh, sorry. Yeah, thank you. Do you know what is the Valley of Death? Yeah. So, and for those who didn't say anything, I can tell you that, but I can't hear this. You can hear me like this, can you? Ah, oh, sorry. So, here is your timeline. And here is your pot of money, and when you're starting to develop a product, your pot of money is here, and then your money is going down as you are investing in research, you're investing in product, putting it on the market, and your money is still going down. And then the first moment when your product takes off, this is the first time when you have some revenue from all that work that and resources you've put in. And this is where a lot of startups, a lot of projects fail, and this is also called a valley of death. And this exactly same problem is also true for nature restoration projects. So again, you invest a lot of resources, your capacity in feasibility studies, in permits, into whatever you need to do to get this project off the ground, and still, if you want to have it financed by carbon or nature credits, your revenues only are, somewhere there, later in a timeline. So what is needed for these projects is to have some upfront capital. But okay, you can tell that investors or corporates would like to pay for that, but do you know many corporates who have a patience to wait for many, many years for a project to, to start bringing revenues? I don't. So here's my idea. Maybe we need to ask for public funds supporting this stage of project development. And maybe this will help us to de-risk, in a way, nature restoration projects, and it will also have more corporates and investors on board, because if we need to upscale the nature restoration, we can't do it only with those front runners that we have now investing in nature because they just believe in it. So here's the thought. And yeah, and thank you for Life Program, who is actually believing in this idea and supporting Life Super EU project that will be doing exactly that, making a pipeline on 15,000 hectares of peatland restoration projects in Europe. So we're taking the toughest of the challenge, and we'll be doing that for next 5 years. And if you have peatland or if you know investors, just come talk to me. Thanks.
Don't worry. Thank you. Then, last but not least, we have the Institute of Soil Science and Plant Cultivation State Research Institute. And he will tell us about carbon farming in Central Europe.
Okay, so I'll try to be, how to say, in 3 minutes, because I know that it's not easy to keep long focus. So, yeah, as it was said, I'll try to present what we, some message after the project implementation, because in 2 weeks the project will be finished. So, just, no, like, I'll try to transfer it. Carbon farming will not scale if we treat soil as a single number, yeah, as it was heard also today and yesterday. And if you want a real climate impact, we need to connect 4 things: soil practice, then farmer reality, which was visible today, credible MRV, and also the policy support. in a carbon farming project, one of the first in the European Union granted. It was the third one, which was related to carbon farming. We tested 36 trials of 7 chosen carbon farming practices, techniques, also the 8 business models and cooperation models across 8 countries in the Central Eastern Europe. But what is more important, I think, we translated this, what we did, into something what farmers can actually use. So what did we learn? First, there is no silver bullet. Carbon sequestration is context specific. Some practices work well in one region and much less in another. And many of them require time. Even if we tested on the long-term practices, soil does not change in 1 or 2 seasons. Secondly, farmers do not adopt carbon. They adopt solutions. And if a practice improves soil fertility, resilience to drought, reduces costs or stabilizes yields, then it works. Carbon is a co-benefit, not the entry point. Third, time matters. Short-term pilots are not enough. Soil carbon is dynamic, as it was also heard. And without long-term commitment, consistent practices, and stable policy frameworks, we will not see the real impact. Fourth, knowledge is not the problem. Translation is. We created guides, training materials, decision support tools, podcasts, and organized dozens of capacity building events. But the real challenge is getting this knowledge into daily farming decisions. If you want to get into this knowledge which you produced, you can scan the QR code and then get into all of the materials. And finally, we should not scale the practices. We should scale the ecosystems. This is why we helped initiate the European Carbon Farmers Cluster, connecting farmers, advisors, researchers, policymakers, and market actors across countries. So finally, my message is simple. The missing link is translation, from science to farmer value, from practice to credible MRV, from pilots to policy, and from local success to systemic change. Because only then does soil practices become climate impact. Thanks a lot for giving the opportunity.
Okay. So this was the end of the pitches. So now I would like to ask the presenters to position themselves in some kind of corner which was supposed to be next to, but maybe you could still use the poster boards to be at least somewhere that people can find you, and also of course you can talk to each other of the pictures, but we have quite a bit of audience as well, so now this is your free time to find the people that you found most interesting to talk to, and enjoy.